This is the very first page of the article. So please find these pieces of information this page. Okay. So the title of the journal, the year published, volume of the journal, the author's name, the paper title, the structure of the paper. No, actually you can ignore the last two. Okay. Up to the paper title. So first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 items. Please find in this page. So which section should you look at for each information? The title of the journal, and then the year published, and the volume of the journal, the author's name, the paper title. Alright, so let's take a look at them. So obviously, the journal, the title of the journal and the title of the paper are different. So, what is the title of the journal? So, Closed Commercial Management Journal. So this is the name of the journal. And how about the year published? 2015 is relatively new. And then volume of the journal. Obviously, it starts with the word. 17. So I'm not really sure. I was not sure how to read it, but I got some help. So X means 10, and the V plus II 7, so 17. Good. Thank you. And actually more information. Issue 1. Okay. Usually the journal is maybe the journal, each volume is issued 4 times a year or so. So 1 means in 2015 this volume comes first. And then 2nd, 3rd, and maybe 4th, I guess. And then 1 balances 7. I don't know. Could be more than 4 volumes issues a year or so. All right, so move on to author's name. What is his or her name? Okay, Angelica Nicoletta. This is what, the first name or last or given name or family name? I don't know. And then what is the next? So could be this is a family name. I'm not really sure. I better study more on that. And then how about this person's affiliation? Alexandru, Ion, or whatever, Toulouse, University, whatever. I checked this university online. Actually, this university is located in Romania. So, no wonder we could not read her name. Hi. And then the paper title, where can you find it? Okay. So culture and gender role differences. Okay, so this is the title of her or his paper. Her, maybe her. Okay. And then particularly this paper is about sort of theoretical article. So based on some theories that we could see. Okay. And also you can find some keywords there. Okay, so these are critical words in the paper. Okay. And then I talked about this with some groups. Okay. So the trick is the first letter of a word is capitalized, gender role, okay, and culture. And then next term especially, I don't know what it is. It could be a proper noun or it could be ordinal noun. Okay. Since again, the trick is all letters at the beginning, the initial letters are capitalized. So it's hard to say what is what. Okay. All right, and then after that you can see the abstract. Okay. So why do we need the abstract? What do we want to do with the abstract? General ideas about the whole paper. Okay. Rather than reading the whole paper, just you skim the abstract and get some ideas about the paper. Okay. Well, particularly when you work on the term paper, you may need to get some. You need to find some related articles for your topic. Okay. But you cannot spend hours and hours to read through the whole paper. Instead, just skim the abstract and see if the paper relates to your topic or not, and then if it doesn't, throw it away. Okay, move on to the next. So that is one strategy to find some relevant literature for your topic or for your term paper. All right, so which side is the front? This is a double-sided copy, so which is the front page? So, you see the title, argument, not abstract, argument. Okay, and then the next section is entitled, what? Culture and role differences between sexes. Okay, and then next, communication of role differences. Okay, see, this subtitle is italicized. That means this is subsection. No, wait a minute. Subsection. This is a section. These are sections. Okay, and then you want to indicate this is the subsection of the section. Okay, so this subsection, communication of role differences, should come under the culture and the role differences between sexes. Okay, so this is the section. Okay. And then, how many subsections can you see under the section, culture and the role differences between sexes? 4. Yeah, simply you count italicized subsections. Okay. And then, what is the last part? Conclusion. Then followed by references. Okay. Always you need cite some references to support your argument. Okay, so this is what we have been learning in this class. All right, so I'm sure it would be too much. You feel really, already at this moment, you might feel like stressed out. God, do we really have to read this again? Well, yes. But again, always how to read. So how would you like to read this paper? Oh, that's it. Finished. So what is the strategy to go through this paper instead of reading from the beginning? Then read the first sentence, good start. And last sentence, good start. But how many paragraphs do they have? Do you want to do that? The Sun says, no. Very quickly. Sun says, no. So how would you like to read it? Keywords. Keywords. Okay, how many keywords do you think we would have? Okay, 6 appears in the front page. Okay, good. Do they help you?
Pretty much.
Pretty much, okay, not exactly, not fully. So any other way to read through? Well, not read through, but the first reading should go what? Any ideas? But we may want to read abstract first, right? Then the trick is jump to conclusions. That's the trick. The first thing is you have to get the sort of general idea about the paper, right? So read abstract, then jump to the conclusion section. So you're going to have to read much for the first reading. You guys don't have to stare at each other. Just go back to the text, please. So at this moment, try not to use a dictionary if you can wait. Well, you can discuss in the group if you want to. It's fine. Right. So have you finished reading abstract? Okay, so the abstract gives you some sort of whole idea of the paper. But conclusions, that section should give you a sort of main point, the focus of the paper. So once you finished reading abstract and conclusions, please start discussing the points or what you have learned from the two sections in the group. Or if you prefer work individually, alone, that's fine too. Alright, so you got the main idea of the paper. Alright. Since abstract is kind of broad, and the conclusion section seems more specific. Okay. So what is the main point of the paper? One sentence. Gender roles. So how do we decide the gender roles? Culture.
Which affect gender roles.
So biological genders, or what is the term? I mean, gender versus what? Sex. Okay. So that is more like a biological term. Okay. But gender is more cultural. Okay. So we seem to follow some ideas, or I could say stereotype. Do you agree with the word? Stereotype. Okay. So women should do this, men should do that. Okay. So it's not really biologically determined, but it's more like culturally determined. Okay. So that's the main issue she wants to, or he wants to address in the paper. Okay. So if you go through the conclusions, okay, you can get some relatively clear ideas about the paper, or her or his claim. Well, should we say she? Okay. Her claim. Okay. All right. So we're done with step 1 and step 2. Okay. So move on to the first section, the very beginning. So that is argument. Okay. So please quickly skim the first section. 2 paragraphs. You don't have to get into details, but grab some ideas, the main points. Well, you can just focus on the first and last sentences, and then you can get into other sentences. That's fine. So what do you think about the first section? Well, do you think it's easy to follow or too abstract? Or it's okay? So what do you think? Is it easy to follow or too abstract? So what do you think? What do you think about the argument section? Too abstract, okay?
No, not too abstract.
Almost abstract. To some extent, the section is sort of abstract. It's kind of hard to grab what is a point could be. So what should we do then? So what is the next step then? Because we read the conclusions and then we got some ideas and then we went back to the first section, which is kind of abstract, but still get some information. Okay. All right, so let's try the last step. Skim all sentences with italicized phrases. Not the subtitles, okay. But some phrases are italicized in the essay, which indicates the critical words or crucial points. Okay. So you may want to go through such indications, italicized phrases. So where did you find the first one? Italicized phrases or phrase?
Value of individuals and their influence on attitude.
So which paragraph? Or what? Under what section? Great. Can you tell us first?
The arguments, the first paragraph about the value of individuals and their influence on
Yeah, italicized phrase or phrases or words. So we don't see any in the argument section, right? So where is the first one? Where did you find the first one? Where can you find the first one? All right. Okay, so the next section, right? The section 2, culture and role differences between sexes. And then it starts with Western studies. And the next line, gender and sex. Okay. So now we should pay attention to these terms. We also may want to give us some definitions of each word or two terms. Okay. And the next sentence says, these terms are not synonymous, okay, so they're not equal. They're different. They carry the different meanings. Okay? And then you will figure out what is the difference or differences between those two terms.
Sex is biological.
All right. So, okay, hold on. So that's the first part we should pay attention to. Okay. So, what is the next? Where is the next italicized phrase or word? Well, you better tell us what section and which line. Otherwise, we cannot really follow you. Okay, so now we are at the subsection, communication role differences. Communication or role differences. Okay, so now please guide us to exactly where.
First paragraph, in the middle. 23rd line.
Where is it?
First paragraph, first line.
The first paragraph in that subsection and what line? You have to count from.
23 are in the middle. 23.
From the
So
bottom
is
or
this
the
is this the sentence? Is that the sentence? One is not the
It's a
born,
code. It's
but
a
rather
quotation.
becomes a women.
It's a quotation.
Is that the one?
One is
But it's similar.
Hello, are you with me?
It's a quotation.
Okay, this is quotation. All right, but this italicized, right?
Yes, so it is.
And then what? Prohibitions. And the language itself reflects the social role, okay, and so on and on. Okay. So this is another strategy. Okay. When you see some italicized phrases, words, pay attention to them as well. Okay, so that you can get more ideas about the essay. Okay. All right, so eventually you've got to read the whole paper. Okay. But as usual, I'd like you to read the very first, and the last sentences in each paragraph. Okay. So try it. And then please do not use the dictionary. Please hold it. Hold on. Or you can circle connecting words. Okay. Always pay attention to how the author develops the storyline. So if you think some words are really, really crucial, critical, sure, please feel free to use the dictionary. Otherwise, please hold tight and wait. So you skip unfamiliar words. All right, sorry. Let me interrupt just a minute. So when you read through the sections or first and last sentences, okay, just don't go through for nothing. Well, what I'm saying is, for example, the subsection under communication of role differences. Okay. So this is a subtitle. That means the author will address this point. Okay. So you may want to look for some information addressing this issue, communication of role differences. Okay. Whatever that means, at somewhere in that subsection. Okay. Well, actually, this subsection is very long. It has only one paragraph. Okay. So particularly in this case, you may want to look for the information which exactly hits the point of communication of role differences. Okay. And then the same for the next subsection, role differences and discrimination. Okay. So, genders, men and women, male and females, must play different roles, but it seems to trigger some discriminations. Okay. So you may want to sort of anticipate what is coming in the subsection. Okay. And the same for the next subsection, ethics of sexual difference. Well, yeah, sexual difference. So the key terms are ethics. So which one can you find information about ethics? Okay. Then finally, well, this subsection seems long, okay, but the last subsection is the gender stereotypes. This gives us some ideas about, okay, so we simply have a stereotype or stereotypical knowledge of gender. Okay. So based on our own knowledge as well, okay, you may want to trigger relevant information in the passage. I mean the paragraph, or sorry, subsection. Okay, so just don't read through first and last sentences for nothing. So you have to hit the point. Okay, so subtitle of the subtitle has this title. Oh no, sorry. Subsection has this title. So the the paragraphs must address that issue. So you may want to focus on that information. You want to look for that information particularly. Okay. So that should make you more, make the whole thing easy for you to follow. Just don't stare at the sentences or read the sentences for nothing. Okay. Always with the purpose. Read it for that purpose. So we will spend a few more minutes. You don't have to read through the whole thing, just as much as you can. Alright, so please stop now. Probably you're still working on the essay. Okay. So this time I like to spend 5 minutes and talk about what points you should include in the summary. In the group, please provide some points so that when you go back home, you can just work on those points you got from other group members. So share the ideas. Okay. And what should we include? The summary. Okay. And always think about the flow of summary. How would you start the summary? Okay. So this is the example we looked at already. Okay. So you may not be able to use this as it is for the new reading, but still it should help. The flow of your summary. So you may want to get some ideas from your members. Yeah. So it might be easier for you to write a summary. It should help you write the summary. Okay. So share the ideas now, please. Okay. Right. All right, sorry, I thought I would spend only 5 minutes, but more than 5 minutes. Okay, so please stop now. Okay, sorry. I know you guys enjoy exchange ideas. But if you want to, please do so outside the classroom. And as I told you, I forgot to bring the... Come on, you want to come up here and you want to talk, give a presentation? So can you tell them about the next week's assignment, please?
Next week assignment, summary, and weekly report.
Good. Yes. As I said, I forgot to bring the piece of paper for the summary today. Okay. And I will upload paper on Momiji this afternoon. So I'm sorry, but please print it out and work on it. Okay. And again, this time I'd like to summarize the whole thing within say 150 words, less than 150 words. It should cover the whole thing. And next week we will move on to Unit 10, I believe. Okay. And then I just forgot, you're supposed to choose a topic for your term paper? Huh? Yeah. Please read the schedule carefully one more time, I think. So your evaluation sheet is passing around now, so you should get it soon. Okay. And also please give me your summary as well, along with a weekly report. So did you get your evaluation sheet and the weekly reports as well? From the last week. So please make sure you submit your summary as well from the previous week. I asked you to write the summary and the one we reviewed in class today. So does anyone have a revised schedule with you? Sorry, you're supposed to... Oh, no, I think you're supposed to choose a topic for your term paper today, by today. Choose a topic that you'd like to explore and write a term paper for the course. Well, don't wait until the last minute because it will take long to write up the decent academic paper. Of course in English. So any issues, well, I put some examples in the schedule. Okay, so please read them and choose whatever you're interested in. I mean the topic. Issues. But don't pick up the really abstract or broad issues. Specific issues. But don't write the same paper for other courses as well. Like totally different issues. It's more academic. Well, I'm not saying the Nihon Bunkajido is not really academic, but it is. But they totally, well, you can choose the same topic, fine, but you can explore from the different perspectives. Don't write exactly the same paper. I would ask Tom to say so. We will check it. Alright, so now please give me everything you have to give me. And please put this as it is.